Hey people, Aman here. Welcome to the third part of Python tutorial series. Just before we start, I just wanted to let you know we are at 611 subscribers, and I know I'm giving you daily details, but this is really important to me. So if you are enjoying the content and if you are actually gaining something from the channel, make sure you subscribe and also subscribe to our Telegram channel. We really have fun stuff, so make sure you subscribe and then you will get a chance to participate in our next restaurant. So let's just get started. Okay, also if you are wondering why the Sublime text looks different, apparently just before I started this video, Sublime text wanted to download a new update, and I let it update, and now it looks minimal and awesome. So yeah, I guess the new update's good. Anyways, today we'll be learning about if statements. Now, if statements are basically exactly what they sound like. So it's like if something is happening, then you do something else, and so on and so forth. So we'll just take a quick example. We'll call b, the value of b will be 2, and then we'll have a simple if statement. So that would be if. We can put parenthesis bracket here. Some people don't. You can. It's just, it doesn't matter. We'll do it both ways. So what we'll say is if a is greater than b, then we have to put up a colon here. So that means that we are beginning an if statement. So whatever happens after this if statement, like if this statement is true, then you have to do what is given below. Now we'll get back to this space or this tab. We'll get back to that. I'll just say print a is greater, if I can spell greater. Okay, now I'm just gonna have another if statement. If b is greater than a, print. Now people who already know programming languages know that I can just put up a else statement, but I'm not gonna be doing that. Anyways, so let's just see what will happen before we run the program. So the value of a is 1, okay, and the value of b is 2. So this first if statement, what is trying to say is if the value of a is greater than b. In this case, it's not true. 1 is greater than b. That's false. So then this statement won't run. Let's come to this if statement. It says the value of b is greater than a, which means 2 is greater than 1. So does that make sense? Yes, that statement is true. So run whatever is inside this block. Okay, now block in the sense means the if statement is here. Whatever is inside the if statement will always be, there would be always a tab space or a normal space between them. So whatever you write inside them, whatever you do inside that, let's just put up extra print statements. Maybe also do a variable declare. We'll just call it 10. Okay, so whatever is inside this if statement, after this space gap, that will run if this statement is true. If this statement is false, then this stuff that will not run. Okay, so let's just try. Let us also put some statements over here, and we'll say print 10, and let's just remove this and say print 9. And now this is a totally vague code. I'm just gonna run it. Okay, so what it does is it says b is greater. Why? Because this statement ran, because this condition came true. Then there was a print statement which was just blank space, so it just gave a space. And in the next print statement, I was like print 10, so it printed 10. Okay, now if we were to change the values, if I change a to something like 8 and then I run the program, it will say a is greater. First of all, there is a space if you notice, so it prints that space. Then it prints the statement which is a is greater, and then it prints 9, which was inside this. Okay, so these are basically if statements. Now there are other if conditional operators, what we call. So normal operators would be plus, minus, equals to, division, or multiplication. Okay, now conditional operators are something different. Conditional operators would be dependent on the condition, as you guessed, would be less than, greater than, less than equal to, greater than equal to, double equals to, which just means that is it equal to this. There is a difference between double equals and a single equals. Okay, these both are different. There is a difference, I'll teach you that. There are other conditional statements as well. There is or, there is not, and there is and. So if you come from a background in computer science, you might know that there are AND gates, there are OR gates, and there are NOT gates as well. Technically, we do have XOR as well, but we will not be using XOR in this statement. So technically, XOR gate can be made using if statements, but we will not be doing that. Anyways, let's try these different ones. So it says if A is greater than B, we can change it to less than B. Let's just go back to our original program and run, and yeah, it says A is greater than, but that is because this statement ran and whatever is inside ran. So we have to change this as well. Obviously A is lesser. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, now there are other conditional statements as we discussed, that would be less than equal to, greater than equal to. And now what if you want to check if two values are same or not? You cannot just do this A equals B, that won't work. Okay, because an single equals to, that is an assignment operator. That means you use it to assign values to a variable. If you do this doesn't make sense. It's just you are saying if A equals B, that's it. That doesn't make sense, not for Python at least. So we do a double equals. Okay, so that means A is equal to B. That means it is asking the program that is A and B equal. If yes, then print this statement. So we'll run and nothing happens obviously because A is not equal to B. We can change the value, we can put 2 and we can run. So yeah, this statement ran this stuff. Once again, print, you can print almost anything. It doesn't matter what you print. You can just print A if you want, or you can just print the value of A. So that would be 2. Anyways, so that's how this works. There's also, now you might be thinking, where do you use or and all that stuff? So there is a use for that. So what we can do is we'll introduce a third variable, and then now we'll use and. We'll say if A is equal to B and B is equal to C, then what we're gonna print is we're just gonna print something like A and C are the same value. Guys, this is like totally common sense stuff. This is like the first axiom in math or something. But yeah, so you can use two conditions together. So if A is equal to B and also B is equal to C, which is true in this case, then they will print the statement. You can also change the value C here, and let me show you. Now see, this won't work. So the statement is equals to B and B is equal to C, but that is not true. This was wrong. That means the entire if statement won't run. Both of these conditions have to be true for the if statement to run. Now if in case it was an or statement, you can go ahead and it will work. So it says A and C might be the same. Yeah, that makes more sense. Once again, guys, you can change anything inside the print statement. I'm just putting up stuff to make it more functional, and it just makes more sense. Anyway, so in an or statement, what happens is this first condition and the second condition, if at least one of them is true, then the print statement will run. Okay, now if I were to change this to 1, then it won't run. Okay, so yeah, that's if statement. Those are the conditional operators. These are like the basic building blocks. Based on these, you will be making big programs, huge programs which can do so much more. You can create a calculator, you can do so much more. And honestly, you guys should try to make a calculator, but that calculator won't be accepting any inputs from the user, and that's completely fine. Just create a calculator. For example, I might you might ask a user that if they put some input equals 1, then that would mean addition. If they input something like let me just put that down. So if the value of A is equal to 2, then you have to do the subtraction thing, and so on and so forth. So you can do that. So, and most of the time in a Python program you will see a lot lots of if statements. It really depends, but most of the time you will see if statements. So these are super important. Now there is also other kind of if statements as well. So there is if else. So what that does is, so you might have figured it out. If the statement is correct, that's cool. If not, do this. So I'll just say not 1. I'll just call it 1. Anyway, so yeah, you can see it. This statement run, that means this else part will not run. Now if this were to be something else, and I'll run it, and it just says not 1, because this was false, that means automatically this statement should run. Okay, super easy stuff. There's also else if statement as well, which just is similar to if, which just means that you have to go and check for other values. Let me just print out. That would be, it is 2 and not 1 and 2. Anyways, let's run it. Okay, so it checks for the first statement. It says is it 1? It's not 1, so this doesn't run. Then it checks for the next statement in the next line. So it checks, is it 2? So yeah, a is equal to 2. Okay, cool. Then print 2. Then you don't go to else. Now if the value of a were 3, so what it will do, it will check the first statement, that is not true. Second statement, that is not true. It will then go to the else statement and print whatever is there inside the else statement. Okay, completely basic stuff, guys. Try to create some program out of this. And I know I don't check your homework. There's no way for me to check your homework. But still, guys, this is super important. I cannot stress this enough. Have fun with this. Try to create your own programs. And if you still, like, if there are some issues, like okay, there might be some errors. If you are creating a Python program for the first time, you are likely to make, like, this is the most single frustrating error ever, this expected and indented block. See, these are the types of error that you'll see in even machine learning Python level codes, because I have made those. So what is basically saying is that, see, this is an if statement. It has to have something inside it. You cannot just put a print statement here. This will not run. Okay, this stuff, line 4 and line 5 is completely different. But if you put a tab inside it, now line 5 is inside line 4 technically, and when you run it, it works. Okay, so that's it, guys. That's the video. Make sure you complete your homework and make sure you follow me or subscribe. If you have any doubts, reach out to me in the comments. I'll try answering your questions. Thank you.